folks, I'm Ashley Bradnam and welcome along to Head to Head in our noble quest to find Australia's greatest sporting mind. We saw an amazing performance last week from Daniel Viles from Queensland, but a week, as we know, is a long time in sport and we don't know how much petrol is left in the tank. I guess we'll find out tonight when he defends the title against a new challenger. Now, thanks to ABC Shops, there are prizes fit for sport-loving geniuses. The winner of Series 1 will be off to the AFL Grand Final and earn the right to play off at the end of the year against the Series 2 champion. Now, the victor of that head-to-head Grand Final on that famous first Saturday in December will be jetting off to the UK for the finals of Wimbledon. It'll be a good contest tonight, I can feel it. Let's get on with it, meet our competitors. Champion is Daniel Viles. Not short on confidence, this guy. He claims he may well be Australia's greatest sporting mind. Put your hands together, please, for the four-time defending champion, Daniel Viles. G'day, Dan.
How you doing, Ash?
I'm very well. That was a bold claim you made a couple of weeks ago on the show, but you've backed it up. I mean, you claim to be Australia's greatest sporting champion. You've talked the talk, but you're also walking the walk.
Self-prophecy is a wonderful thing. You just predict what's going to happen and just hope like hell it comes true.
Daniel's broken all sorts of records on the show, world records, we call them here on Head to Head, and with his victory last week, he's in the prime position to be our longest reigning champion, which could win him a spot in the Series 1 final. That's all ahead of you, Dan. Good luck. Let's bring on your opponent. Our challenger is Stuart Ainge, an insurance claim officer from Deer Park in Victoria. His most embarrassing sporting moment was scoring a pair in a cricket grand final. If you don't know what that means, it's 2 ducks in a row. Stuart, welcome to the show. Put your hands together, folks, for the challenger. Ouch.
Yes, still living it down to this day.
The boys give you heaps?
Every week.
At the club? Is there a plaque or anything like that?
Scorecards framed on the wall. First thing anyone sees when they come in, 2 big zeros.
They never let you forget it.
No.
I hope tonight is not as unpleasant an experience as that.
It'll struggle to be.
I was mentioning the records that Daniel's racked up on the show. He actually created a slice of Australian television history on Head to Head a couple of weeks ago. The first time in Australian television quiz show history that one person has actually sledged his opponent midway through the competition. He's got a big mouth on him, this bloke, Stuart, so you might be the one to bring him down tonight. Good luck.
That's my aim. Thanks, Ash.
Good on you, mate. Let's get started. Let's play the first quarter of Head to Head. And a nice gentle start it is as well. We have 10 questions. They're either multiple choice or they're true or false. 1 point for a correct answer. There's no penalty for a wrong answer. Just let it rip, guys. There's nothing to lose. Daniel, defending champ, you know the way it works. You hit the hot seat. You comfortable?
I have a groove in the seat. It's fantastic.
You also hold the record, a perfect 10. A couple of weeks ago on the show, you were looking for a repeat performance tonight, mate, to set the standard early. Good luck.
Thank you.
Question 1, true or false? Margaret Smith was the first Australian woman to win the Wimbledon singles tennis title.
True.
Correct. The champ's away. Question 2. What is the name of Brett Lee's band? A, Maiden Over, B, Six and Out, C, I'm Stumped, D, Lillian Marsh.
6 and Out.
Correct. 2 from 2. True or false? John Coleman played 100 VFL/AFL matches.
True.
It's false. Played 98. How many matches will be played in the 2006 Soccer World Cup? A, 44, B, 64, C, 84, D, 104.
64.
Is correct. Brazilian runner Vanderlei de Lima led the marathon at the 2004 Olympics until he was attacked by a spectator.
True.
Correct. Head nods don't cut it on the show.
They don't, no.
How old was Australian Test cricketer Archie Jackson when he died? A, 23, B, 28, C, 30, D, 33.
23.
That's correct. Yeah. A was the correct answer there. True or false? Question 7. You're off to a good start, mate. Keep it going. Jane Saville, famously disqualified within sight of the Olympic Stadium, came back to win bronze at Athens.
True.
Correct. 3 to go. What year was the interchange players system introduced to the VFL-AFL? A, 1976, B, 1977, C, 1978, D, 1980.
1978.
I guess?
I guess.
Correct. True or false, in rowing there is such a thing as a coxed pairs?
True.
Correct. Final question for the defending champion. Though born in Dubbo, in which other country New South Wales town was Glenn McGrath raised? A. Forbes, B. Parkes, C. Narromine, D. Gilgandra.
Narromine.
Is correct, and not a bad way to finish off the round for the defending champion, Daniel. Not the perfect round, Daniel. 9 out of 10's not bad, though. Back to the champion's corner for you. The challenger, Stuart, for the first time, hit the hot seat. How'd you go then?
Don't think I got 9. So the champ's in front.
You've been watching Daniel, no doubt,
I have.
the last couple of weeks. How have you fared against him? Just in the comfort of your own living room, can you beat the champ?
Well, I guess him not having 10 gives me more chance than the last couple of opponents, so we're in the game.
Good luck, mate.
Thank you.
10 questions, nice easy start. True or false, question 1. Squash was once an Olympic sport.
True.
That's false. Incorrect. In play, a water polo team has how many members? A4, B5, C6, D7.
7?
Correct. The challenger's away. Give him a round of applause, folks. Woo. Feel a bit more relaxed now?
Yes.
Good man. Dean Cox kicked the last kick of the 2005 AFL season. True or false?
True.
Correct. Which Australian has not coached Sri Lanka in cricket? A. Dav Watmore, B. John Dyson, C. Greg Chappell, D. Tom Moody.
Greg Chappell.
C is correct. Now you're finding a little bit of form. Challenges away. True or false? The Winter Olympic Games have never been held in the Southern Hemisphere.
True.
Correct. Question 6 of 10, first quarter action on head-to-head. Could be a tight one tonight. Henry Bobby Pearce was an Australian Olympic gold medalist in which sport? A. Athletics, B. Rowing, C. Swimming, D. Cycling.
Take a stab rowing.
Correct. True or false, Mark Philippoussis has won a Grand Slam singles tennis title?
False.
No title for the Scud, that's correct. Which former champion athlete was appointed Governor of South Australia in 2001? A. Marjorie Jackson, B. Shirley Strickland, C. John Landy, D. Herb Elliott.
Herb Elliott?
Is incorrect, it was A. Marjorie Jackson. 2 to go, true or false, former West Indian fast bowler Curtly Ambrose is the bass player of the band Dread and the Baldhead.
True.
Can you sing any of their songs?
Not at all.
It's correct, well done. Which country was not in Australia's group at the 1974 World Cup? A. West Germany, B. Chile, C. East Germany, D. Uruguay.
Uruguay.
Is correct. Another good way for the challenger to finish off the round. A close one tonight, folks. Put your hands together. For Stuart, you've got 8. You're 1 point adrift. Back to the challenger's corner for you. It's a tight tussle early, quarter time in the battle for the belt, and the score is our defending champion Daniel on 9, leading Stuart on 8.
To find out the relationship between Britney Spears and Don Bradman, let's play Degrees from the Don. Don Bradman met harmonica player Larry Adler, who was a friend of George Gershwin, who wrote the song Summertime, covered by Janis Joplin in the 1960s. In the film The Rose, a Joplin-type character was played by Bette Midler, who signed on to make a film In the Pink with Britney Spears. Britney Spears, Degrees from the Don, 5.
It's time for the second quarter on head-to-head. Yeah, we'll crank it up now. 2 minutes on the clock. You have that amount of time to answer up to 20 questions on your special subject. Again, there's 1 point for a correct answer. There's no penalty for a wrong answer, and you can pass if you'd like to as well. We'll return to that question if time permits. Daniel, hit the hot seat. Now, traditionally, this is where you make your move.
It's been a good round for me so far.
Your specialty subject tonight is Australia v South Africa in cricket. How well do you know it?
This is the good one. This is the one I really want to do well in.
OK, you've got 20 questions. Make a prediction.
18 plus.
I wish you had confidence. 2 minutes on the clock, good luck. Your time starts now. In which city did South Africa win their first test match against Australia in 1911?
Johannesburg.
Incorrect, Adelaide. In the first test in South Africa in 2002, which Australian took 5 wickets for 21 in the second innings?
Glenn McGrath.
Correct. Who was fined 75% of his match fee for questioning Daryl Hare's LBW decisions?
Pass.
At his last test match in Durban in 1994, Alan Border was not out for 42. Who was the other not-out batsman at the end of play?
Steve Waugh.
Incorrect, Mark Waugh. In what year did South Africa win its first test against Australia on home soil?
1911.
Incorrect, 1966. Which South African took his 100th test wicket against Australia in 1967?
Peter Pollock.
Correct. Who was named man of the 2005 Six Series?
Ricky Ponting.
Correct. In the 1996-97 series, which two Australians batted for an
Greg
entire
Gordon,
day?
Steve Waugh.
Correct. Australia lost to South Africa in the 1992 World Cup after being restricted to 9 for how many runs?
174.
Incorrect, 170. By how many wickets did South Africa win the third home test in 2002?
6.
Incorrect, 5. Which Australian bowler took a hat-trick in Cape Town?
Lindsay Klein.
Correct. Which Australian batsman was sent to hospital by a bouncer in the third test in 1967?
Pass.
In the second test of the 1969-70 series, who made a then record test
Graham
score
Pollock.
by herself? Correct. Who captained Australia on the 1957-58 tour to
Ian
South
Craig.
Africa? Correct. Who were the equal top wicket takers of the 2005 Six Test series?
Brett Lee and Mackay Rantini.
Incorrect. Shane Warne and Andre Nell. Who was man of the series in the 2002 Test series in South Africa?
Adam Gilchrist.
Correct. Which wicketkeeper took 6 catches on his debut in the first test of
Ryan Tabor.
Incorrect. Wally Grout. Who was the Australian captain for the 69-70 tests?
Bill Laurie.
Correct. Who was named man of the match in a test match held at the SCG in 1994?
Finding de Villiers.
Correct. We'll accept that right on the buzzer. Good way to finish. A bit of a stumble for the champ in the second quarter of head-to-head. I know you're playing along at home. You passed on a couple of questions there, so I'll just clear that up for you, sort out the arguments in the living room. Plenty up for grabs there, I know. Who was fined 75% of his match fee for questioning Daryl Hare's LBW decisions? It was Peter Kirsten. Peter Kirsten, and the Aussie batsman that was sent to hospital after copping one by a bouncer in the third test in 67 was Bill Laurie as well, featuring a couple of times in the second round. Daniel, how do you rate your performance there? Not 18 out of 20, I've got to be honest.
No, the door's right open for Stuart, so it's just a matter of whether he can walk through it.
If that's your forte, you've performed better in other areas. What happened tonight?
Look, I was hoping you wouldn't mention that, but now that you have, I think I'll just slink quietly into the chair and pretend I'm not here.
It's called the hot seat for a reason, mate.
It
You
is,
go
mate.
back to the champions' corner. Now, challenger Stuart, big opportunity. You hit the hot seat. Daniel is on 19 points. He managed to answer 10 questions correctly there. Long way off the 18. So there's an opportunity for you here, Stuart. You're on 8, 11 points adrift with 2 minutes up on the clock. And your specialty subject is Essendon in the 1990s. The Bombers man.
Yes, I've been reliably informed no Collingwood fans have made it here. There's you can
That's
draw
not
your
a-
own conclusions as to why.
That's not a rule, by the way. We'll welcome anybody. You just need to know your sport. All right, mate, let's see how well you know the Bombers. See how well you know your team. 2 minutes on the clock. 11 points adrift of the champ. Your time starts now. Which player won the Norm Smith Medal in 1993?
Michael Long.
Correct. In what year of the 90s did Essendon begin playing home games at the MCG?
93.
Incorrect. It was 1992. In what position did the club finish the 1990 home and away season?
Top.
Correct. Which Bombers player won the 1993 Brownlow Medal?
Gavin Wanganeen.
Correct. Who was appointed vice-captain in 1991?
Pass.
In 1993, Kevin Sheedy famously waved his jacket over his head following a narrow victory over which team?
West Coast.
Correct. Which player was runner-up in the 1999 Brownlow medal count?
Mark McCurry.
Correct. What was Essendon's premiership winning score in the 93 grand final?
128.
Incorrect. 133. In what year did Gary O'Donnell replace Mark Thompson as captain?
95.
Incorrect. 1996. Who stepped down as president in 1992?
Peter Jackson.
Incorrect. Ron Evans. In 1995, how many Essendon players won All-Australian selection?
None.
3. Wanganeen, Long and Hurd. In what year did Simon Madden last play for the Bombers?
1992.
Correct. In 1997, who was named as captain of the Bombers' team of the century?
Dick Reynolds.
Correct. Mark Harvey retired in 1997 after playing how many AFL games for the club?
181.
Incorrect. 206. In 1998, which player was drafted from Dandenong under-18s?
Pass.
Who was Essendon's leading goal kicker in 1994?
Paul Salmon.
Incorrect. Scott Cummings. Who was the Bombers' best and fairest player in 1991?
Pass.
How many goals did Matthew Lloyd kick in 1997?
82.
Incorrect. 63. Was Mark Thompson's best and fairest award in 1990 his first, second, or third for the club?
First.
Incorrect. Second. Gavin Wanganeen's first match for Essendon in 1991 was against which team? It was Richmond. You can't answer it though because I was asking the question when the buzzer sounded. On head-to-head, you passed on a few questions. I'll clear them up. Vice-captain in 1991 was Mark Thompson for the Bombers. Adam Ramanauskas was drafted from Dandenong back in 1998, and the Bombers' best and fairest player in 1991 was Alan Izzard. So you've managed to get up to 15 there. You've issued a challenge to the champ. We've got a big one on our hands tonight. You go back to the challengers' corner and we'll continue things. It's half-time in the battle for the belt, and the score is a close one. Daniel 19, a 4-point buffer over Stuart on 15.
During the late 1970s, there was no greater rivalry in rugby league than that between Western Suburbs and Manly Warringah. Billed as the Fibro Battlers versus the Silvertails, this match at Lidcombe Oval turned ugly. Manly utility Stephen Knight obviously had enough when he coat-hangered a Wests player late in the game. He was later suspended for 4 weeks. Wests went on to win the game 13-7.
Time now for the third quarter on head-to-head. This is the big one, folks. It's the all-important premiership quarter, the money quarter. Our competitors go head-to-head, 2 minutes of questions, still 1 point for a correct answer, but now there's a 1-point penalty if you get it wrong. We'll put the 2 minutes on the clock in just a moment to get started. Before we do, just a reminder, it's a tight one tonight, only 4 points in it. Nobody has been beaten after leading at the end of the third quarter. Something for the pair of you to think about. Daniel chasing 5 wins in a row. It's a big one tonight, folks. I'm enjoying it. I hope you are at home. Here we go. 2 minutes on the clock, and your time starts now. How does basketballer Luke Longley spell his first name? Stuart.
LUC.
Correct. In what country was cricketer Andrew Symonds born? Daniel.
England.
Correct. Who will Dwight York play for in the Soccer World Cup? Stuart.
Trinidad and Tobago.
Correct. Which Australian female won the 50-metre freestyle at the 2005 Montreal World Championships? Daniel.
Libby Lenton.
Correct. Who was the first unseeded player to win the Wimbledon men's singles? Stuart.
John McEnroe.
Incorrect. Boris Becker. Which wallaby was sent home from South Africa in 2000? Daniel.
Matt Henjak.
Correct. Besides drug testing, what other form of testing was introduced at the Mexico? Daniel.
Gender testing.
Correct. What is the name of the New York NBA team? Stuart.
Knicks.
Correct. True or false, the Dally M medal was not awarded in 2003? Daniel.
True.
Correct. In the first semi-final against Geelong in 2005, which Swan kicked full? Stuart.
Nick Davis.
Correct. In which sport would you contest a World Cup Super G race? Stuart.
Skiing.
Correct. Which comedy duo are featured in the Museum of the American Baseball Hall of Fame? Daniel.
Abbott and Costello.
Correct. How many times did Michael Doohan win the 500cc motor? Stuart.
6.
Incorrect. 5. In rugby league, who was known as the Little Master? Daniel.
Clive Churchill.
Correct. The 1951 ABC Sportsman of the Year was Frank who? Daniel.
Sedgman.
Correct. After winning the 1986 British Open, which Australian... Daniel?
Greg Norman.
Correct. I owe a lot to my parents, especially my mother and father. In which country did David Campese marry in 2003? Stuart.
Italy.
Incorrect. South Africa. Max Walker played VFL football with which club? Daniel.
Melbourne.
Correct. Which country won the first 2 netball gold medals at the Commonwealth Games? Daniel.
Australia.
Correct. In 1993, Michelle Martin won the first of 3 Stuart.
Squash.
Correct. Superbike champion Troy Corser rode which make of bike in 2005? Suzuki. Cometh the hour, cometh the man. It looks like the defending champ is on track again. 3-quarter time in the battle for the belt, and the score is Daniel 30, a 12-point buffer over Stuart on 18.
Now a question for the trivia buffs at home as we play What Happened Next.
This is a good performance.
Betty Cuthbert made a comeback in the Commonwealth Games in Perth in 1962. She was to run the final leg of the relay. She had never won a Commonwealth Games gold medal. This was her last chance.
Place. It's England leading from Australia, New Zealand third, up to the last change to Betty Cuthbert, but it's England with a clear lead at the last change. England with a clear lead at the last change. Here goes Cuthbert. Cuthbert endeavouring to mow this English girl down. There's not very much in it. There's only a half a yard in it as Cuthbert goes as hard as she can.
If you guessed the great Betty Cuthbert overtook the English runner right on the line to win gold, then you are correct.
Cracking contest tonight, folks. It's time for the fourth and final quarter on head-to-head. Only 12 points in it, and this is it. It's time to sort this contest out once and for all. Everything's at stake here. It's the battle for the belt. There's now 2 points for a correct answer and a 2-point penalty for a mistake. How are you feeling, Daniel?
Better than I was before the third quarter, actually, yeah.
It was a good round for you then?
Yeah, about time. I've had a pretty shocker tonight. I think I was leading at that point because I sucked less than he did.
That's one way to put it. Stuart, 2 points up for grabs for each question. Now, what's your tactic on the 50-50? Do you just jump in and have a go? Or
I think you've got to from this point, yes.
12 points down, I think I agree. Good luck. 2 minutes on the clock. Your time starts now. At which course did Peter Lonard win the 2004 Australian Open? Daniel.
Royal Melbourne.
Incorrect, the Australian club. In November 1991, who broke the record for most cricket test appearances? Daniel?
Alan Border.
Correct. At which modern Olympics did women first officially compete? Paris, 1900. In American college basketball, there is a tournament known as March what? Madness. Undergoing a kidney transplant in 2004. Stuart?
Jonah Lomu.
Correct. How many Australians played in the Wimbledon men's doubles final of 1955? Stuart? 4. Correct. What is the full name of the sport writer in the TV show The Odd Couple? Oscar Madison. Who was Prime Minister when the Australian Institute of Sport opened? Daniel?
Malcolm Fraser.
Correct. Who is Australian Rugby League's leading try scorer? Ken Irvine. Who did Tiger Woods beat in a playoff to win the 2005 Masters at Augusta? Chris DeMarco. Which Geelong AFL player was known as Buddha? Stuart.
Gary Hocking.
Correct. Nick Hornby's book about soccer is called Fever... Daniel?
Fever Pitch.
Correct. What famous trophy was donated in 1931 by a Governor-General of...
The
Daniel?
Bledisloe Cup.
Wait for your name to be called, that's correct. In what country was Anthony Mundine knocked out by Sven Ottke? Daniel?
Germany.
Correct. In which state is the Bradman Museum located? Daniel?
New South Wales.
Correct. What beginning with C is the twisting part of a motor racing course called? Daniel?
Chicane.
Correct. Which rugby league player was fined $2,000 for doing push-ups in his undies in 2005? Trent Barrett. A legendary footballer, baseballer and Olympic athlete was American Jim who? Daniel?
Thorpe.
Correct. Who partnered Drew Ginn to win the Coxless Daniel?
James Tompkins.
Correct. True or false, the AFL player known as Mr Football is Ron Barassi. That is a lie. It's false if you're playing at home. The contest is over. Another good round for the champion. Put your hands together, folks. Whoa. Let's confirm it. Let's have a look at the leaderboard. See the way it stood at the end of the final quarter. Daniel blew him away in the back half of the show. 46 points to 24 victory over Stuart. Put your hands together. Bad luck, Stuart. Put up a brave challenge early. Unfortunately, the trip's ended, mate. You won't be crowned Australia's greatest sporting trivia mind. Not this year, at least. Maybe we'll see you back next year, mate, but we have to ask you to return back to the changing sheds.
Cheers.
Good on you, mate. Well played. Stuart leaves us without the belt, but he does pick up a gift voucher. He can use that at any ABC shop. And Daniel, keeping the dream alive. Congratulations, mate. You're back for another week next week. Pick up the belt. You've earned the right. He'll proudly show that off. And show it off. He can because he's... And show it off, folks. Give him a round of applause. There he is, Daniel. He'll be back next week to try and defend his title. And we'll see you then. Good night.